Hello everyone and welcome back to Beck's Flavor. I hope that you are doing very well. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Becca and I'd like to give you a very warm welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so by clicking the subscribe button. So today I am going to show you how to make this yummy and delicious dry Bofrot. Some people call it donut, some people call it Toogbei. Whatever you call it, we are going to make this delicious Bofrot right now. So here are the ingredients that I will be using to make my Bofrot, but I will list everything in the description box below. So for this recipe, I am using plain flour and I'm just going to add all the dry ingredients onto the flour. I will list all the measurements and all the ingredients that I use in the description box below. I also use some dry milk or some milk powder because I just like the flavor that it gives me. But of course, this is totally optional. You can omit that if you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some salt as well. Then I'm going to grate in some of my nutmeg. I like, nutmeg in my foods a lot, and I like to use the fresh nutmeg. You can also go ahead and use the one that's already grated and stored, but it's absolutely fine. Then make sure that I mix everything together to incorporate all the different ingredients together and to get started to make our dough. I'll add a bit of vanilla extract, or you can use any other flavorings that you like. Then I'll go ahead and add in my butter. This is unsalted butter, and I'm just going to go ahead and mix that thoroughly through the flour to make sure that it gives a sort of crumbs feeling that you get when you mix everything together. So now I will add in my evaporated milk and also 1 egg. I'll mix everything together, making sure that everything is well incorporated. Then I will be adding my water gradually as I go along. I won't use all the water, otherwise I will end up with a very soft dough, and that's not what I am trying to achieve. So please add your water gradually, and also bear in mind that different flour take water differently. So some flours may take a lot of water and some flours take a little bit of water. So just do it gradually as you go along to make sure that you get your perfect consistency. And then just go ahead and knead everything together, making sure that you are doing it nicely so that you can activate all the glutens, and which will make your Bofrot nice, soft and chewy. So I'm going to keep my dough in the bowl as this is easier for me to knead, and then I'll be kneading it for about 10 minutes. I chose to knead this by hand today just to show you how you can do it by hand, but if you have a stand mixer or hand mixer, you can of course use this. So I kneaded this for about 10 minutes to create this nice, soft and smooth dough. I will then cover my dough up for it to rest for about 10 minutes so I can work with it much better. Now after about 10 minutes, the dough is relaxed and it's much easier for you to work with it. I will then flour my surface and knead it for a bit just to get any air out that, when it starts to rise, it might trap some air inside. And then I'll go ahead and cut this into 2 equal parts. Then out of one of the halves, I'm just trying to make like a sausage kind of form, just so that I can try and cut them equally. You can weigh them to make sure that it's equal, but I didn't do that. I just try and eyeball it. And once you begin to form the dough, you can kind of tell that the other ones are bigger or they are smaller, and then you can sort of adjust the measurement while you go along. But of course you can use a scale to measure this out. So this is how I do it. I'll just fold it in a bit. I'm just trying to make a bowl. That's all you're trying to do, okay? Like just make like a dinner roll, like those breads. So try and just form it like that, and then I make my bowl this way. So play around with it and see which way that works better for you. You can just roll it in your palm as well. This equally works. And then I've got my flour sheet. I put some flour onto some baking sheet because I don't want the dough to stick on the flour. You don't want it to rise and then you're struggling to get it off the sheet, because that will deflate your form and it won't look nice and round. So please make sure that you put some flour onto your baking sheets, your non-stick baking sheet, so that when it does double in size, you can pick it up nicely and just drop it into the oil. So now that all the doughs are formed, I'm just going to cover it up, leave it in a warm place for it to rise. This took about an hour or so. It was quite a warm day, and after an hour it has risen and this is how it's looking, and I'm just going to go ahead and fry them. So with your oil, you want to make sure that it's not too high or too low. You want to have it on medium heat, otherwise it's either going to soak up too much oil when it's too low, or it's going to brown on the outside and not cooked on the inside if it's too high. So you want to have it on medium heat. If you can fry one and see how that turns out, then you can fry the rest. And you have to be delicate with it. You can't leave, you have to literally stay there, so you can turn it around and turn it over, making sure that all the sides are browned evenly. Okay, so you can't take your eyes off and run off to have a cup of tea or anything. You literally have to be on the ball, otherwise it will burn. It burns really quick. Okay, so you have to just pamper it a little bit. Just pamper it in the oil, turn it around, making sure that everything is cooking evenly. And it doesn't take that long, and it just turns out brown, golden brown, crunchy on the outside, but yet so soft on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this out of the oil and get ready to fry my second batch. So I'll just go ahead and fry the remaining of my dough, and obviously, like I said, make sure that the oil is not too hot. I can't stress that enough, okay? You don't want to go through all this hard work and burn your Bofrot. You really don't want that. Now my second batch is also done. Look at how crunchy that is looking on the outside. I promise you guys, you have to try this recipe. It is really, really good and doesn't take that long at all. Okay, so if you enjoyed this recipe, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Okay, tell me if you make this, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.